Hello, Factorio people. Welcome back to the reverse mega base. I did it. I got rid of the global network. Look, logistics networks are on here. Oh, I've done this one wrong. These are all... Anyway, it's fine. Each module now has its own logistics network, which delivers unto it fuel cells, takes away the empty fuel cells. I copy and pasted the big uranium processing depot so that we now have two of them, because one wasn't enough, and therefore this guy was slowing down. In the midst of all the chaos, I'm not quite sure how it happened. I'll have to review the footage. Space science stopped working, something to do with the satellites not being in the... There was no logistics network, I think. When I got rid of the global network, the satellites stopped being moved over to... I wish I could find it. There it is. The satellites stopped being moved over, and as such there was quite a long delay on optimization tech cards being made. Yeah, as you can see, almost an hour of no science being done, which has given the uranium time to back up, but we have a separate problem with the uranium now, which is we have two uranium stations, we have two trains. The trains don't know which uranium station to go to at any one time. They have no instructions for that. They're both just going to go to the closest one. So today we need to work out a little way of making sure that the trains go to the one that has the most uranium, or at least the station where they can be filled with uranium. And I'm not the smartest knife in the bulb, so it's going to be fun. There's something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, that's right. I really wish I hadn't killed that fish. I really wish in my station module design, my original one that I'd planned for this, I knew I was going to fill the trains with a logistics network. To some extent I couldn't have planned it 100% because each one of these stations will be a separate distance apart. So like here, this is unique. This one is not unique, this one actually is exactly the same as this one. Oh no, it's not the same as this one because this one has 16 lanes of output, so this needed to move slightly. But on from a high level point of view, I should have planned this better. So you can see each logistics network is not the same because each station design is not the same. Moving this all around so that I have a green Spidertron here that's full of stuff. Let me send you back to the hub. Having a double high station here next to this meant that I had to sort of, you know, it's ugly. It's ugly. It does work. It is functional, but it's not the best. It's going to involve manual work going forwards. Let me guess. I can't change this from here, can I? No. It's going to involve manual work going forwards. So even to the point where I have my station module now, that if I have to remove belts, trains to put these down, like up here for example, I had to put an underground here to get this one down. Each individual one is going to need its own manual babysitting change, which is unfortunate. So if I could do it all again, I would. Okay. Trains. Trains need to go to the right place. Pink Spidertron is back. Pink Spidertron has some other stuff to help me out. It was mostly helping me out doing all of the placing of the this bit, and bringing me enough logistics ports and bringing me enough purple and blue chests and stuff like that. There was a comment, Bjorn, long-time Super fan Bjorn, mentioned it was probably a good idea to add a rule to the trains to make sure that they also were empty of used up uranium fuel cells. There's a chance that the train comes back here, doesn't empty of uranium fuel cells before heading off to do something else, can't pick up the uranium fuel cells from a destination, and so on and so forth. It is part of the headache of the system is that you don't want to necessarily always bring a train to this station when there are used up fuel cells to pick up. That would be a bit overkill. You may as well just pick them up when you fuel the train. But there is then a non-zero chance that a train only ever empties a uranium fuel cell at a station where it never then gets refueled, because every train is fueling and refueling everywhere. So for example, this train here picks up, oh wow, this isn't even right, picks up production tech cards and fuels and unloads empty fuel cells, and then comes back down here to drop off the production cards, but then also gets fueled and empty fuel cells removed. That there is a chance that the distance the train has to go syncs up in such a way that it only ever adds fuel cells here and removes empty fuel cells here. Ever. So these purple chests could eventually fill up, and the train will break because it can't be refueled, because it can't have the empty fuel cells taken away. And this chest just becomes full of used up uranium fuel cells. That is a very niche case. The fix to that, of course, is to add another decider combinator. Let me go somewhere where there is actually a station. Is to add another decider combinator that opens the station in this extreme edge case. Something is clearly wrong. These fuel cells aren't being picked up. Send me a train for this exact emergency. So you would do that the same way. So you would add another decider. So this only ever picks up used up uranium fuel cells. You'd add another decider combinator here for used up fuel cells. You would say, I think it's, I mean 50 is a bit much because I think the train can only pick up 20. But maybe I changed that, I don't know. Oh god, I'm lost in my own base. What's down here? No, there's 8 empty storage slots in this wagon, so that is 8 stacks of 10, so that's 80. Is that correct? These stacked to 10, yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah, 3 full rows of fuel cells, so yeah, 80. So if something's gone horrendously wrong, and there is in fact a train load of uranium fuel cells here, greater than or equal to 80. Output 1 as well. And if we hook that up to this, I don't believe this can. I mean, it will make the train limit 2 if both conditions are met at exactly the same time, but that won't matter. It will send 2 trains in that case, because these depot trains go the very moment that there is a station open for them. That's how this works, unfortunately. I suppose you could add another combinator that just says, I don't know exactly how that works. I very, very, very rarely use arithmetic combinators. Decider combinators are mostly all you need. If this is more than this, then do this. There are situations where you do need to use it, which I will probably be using today, in fact, so that's funny. So like here you would just add, so this outputs L as 1, and this outputs L as 1, but that's because we're hooking it directly up to the train station. what you could do is get rid of these wires and not output L, just output literally anything. Just output A as 1, output A as 1, and then hook up a second combinator here, like this. Hook up both wires, both output wires to this, so then it's either going to get either 0, 1 or 2 A's. 0 A's in this scenario where there's not any need for fuel cells and there's not any need to pick up fuel cells. 1 if one of these conditions is true, or 2 if both of these conditions is true. So then all you would do is you would say if A is ever bigger than 0, if A is ever bigger than 0, output L as 1, and then that only ever makes the train limit 1. That is the belt and braces approach to this. It's so niche, but we're here for that. That's what we're here for. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a extremely niche edge case scenario. Where did I put those purple chests? Because the other downside to this not having a global network is now when I put a... Oh, this one wasn't done either. Oh, God. When I put things down like this, because these aren't in construction networks, they're only in logistics networks, it never says there's a job that needs doing. What we have to do is we have to make a entities filter for ghost tiles only. 46 long inserters. Where is that happening? Somewhere in this bit. 46! Oh, this never got done. Oh, the steel actually never joins the... Okay, that's fine. The Spidertron has that under wraps, I think. One of these Spidertrons has long arm inserters in them. Not the green one. The green one is for doing the... Where are you? You're there. The green one is for doing rail stations. I think the purple one has long-handed inserters. It might not have that because I only made this for... No, it only has standard and filter inserters. Alright, well we'll go there later. Actually, what I wanted is I needed to know where those were. They're there on the rocket fuel. Alright, let's quickly nip to the rocket fuel. Am I faster than a Spidertron? Let's have a race. Okay, I will race you... There, go. Oh, I didn't click. I will race you... There, go. He's faster than me! No! I mean, I could fix this because there's no way I need this many roboports now. Like, I just don't. I could easily add another 2 exoskeletons, I think, and not ever notice. Or, I could get rid of the batteries and add an extra 2 exoskeletons. Good point. Good point, me. It wasn't me. That was not my idea in the slightest. Okay, let's actually get back to work, shall we? That was enough of a distraction. This episode will be going live on the Sunday, of course, as per usual. The next couple of episodes I will record in advance. I mean, obviously, all recording happens in advance. That's all. It's like the old Mitch Hedberg joke. Here's a photo of me when I was younger. All photos of you are you when you were younger. Here's a photo of me when I was older. Give me that camera. But they will be recorded far in advance to the point where if you have any comments about them, I will not be able to respond to them in the next video. Due to me having prior engagements, that will require me to move the schedule up slightly. But that's fine. I'd rather do that than not record at all. Right, okay, let's go. These can currently hold 2 trains worth, which is 16,000 uranium each. So let's hook them all together. and bring them over here. So the current signal is 128,000 uranium. One train can therefore hold 64,000 uranium. So we only want this station to open when there is at least 64,000 uranium. That's easy. Of course, as we know, decide a combinator, connect the wire. If the uranium signal is greater than 64,000, greater than or equal to 64,000, output 1L, because L is the default train signal thing. There you go. Connect you to the train limit, currently enabled at 1. That's all well and good. Not the best, because that means that for every station we do, we have to program this specifically for the output. So if we want to copy and paste this system somewhere else, we have to go there, paste it down, and then manually change the condition to whatever the item is. There are these catch-all anythings, everything's anythings. If all signals meet the condition, it will output true. It is true when there are no inputs. Anything, if any of the input signals meet the condition, it will output true. So if any signal that this gets is more than 64,000, it is outputting 1, and of course it is, because it's getting a signal of uranium, which is 128,000. So uranium is anything. That's good. That's fine. If this has 64,000, if this station has 128,000, and for whatever reason this station does not have a full train load yet, and we only ever say open the station at train limit 1, we will have a situation where one train will come here, pick it up, the other train will just be stuck. It will be stuck because it will say there's no destination. Even though it could come here and queue, this train limit is only ever 1. So it won't be until this train leaves and this station is still open that the other train will come along. So we need a second combinator. We hook these up like this. What do you mean that's not powered? That's annoying. I did want to try and squeeze these in this gap here, because this gap's always going to be the same, so let me just quickly do that. Spidertron's in my way. I'll turn off alt mode just so I can see a bit more exactly of where these... There we go. So if it's greater than or equal to 64,000, output 1. If it's greater than or equal to 64,000, output another 1. So currently the train limit is 2, obviously. If we change this to the next threshold, which should be 128,000, it is getting that as a signal. So this train limit is now 2. So if this has enough for 2 train loads and the other one doesn't have any trains, doesn't have a train load at all, which is currently now, for example, and this train is waiting. It's this train I wanted to look at. And both of these trains, for whatever reason, both need to go and load up on uranium straight away. They will both go up here. It's not... If you only ever set the train limits at 1, yeah, you have that problem where one train comes here and the other train is like, I've got nowhere to go. And it doesn't even start moving until this station is either open or this station opens, whichever one happens first. And seeing as we've built in all of this resiliency for queuing up here, that's how we should do it. I've chosen the uranium for this because even though it's not going to be hugely relevant, basically ever, it is the one that's relevant right now. As I say, there's been a huge backlog of uranium processing happening while the space science wasn't working. This is full. This is full, and it does not have enough more space for the 235 to go in. Hey, research completed. Nice. Oh, it was worker robot speed as well. Just as I got rid of the global network, worker robot speed is finished. I believe this is one of the edge cases that was being talked about, is that this is full of uranium 238, and it only has 600 uranium 235. So as more of this, if a train comes and picks this up right now, all that's going to happen is it's just going to fill with uranium. What's happening here? Oh, the matter plant is also not able to output here either, but that's fine. We got the buffer there for that. We don't need another buffer on this side for that. That's ridiculous. So these items will go in here. It's possible that this fills up even more with 238, and that we run out of 235, and therefore we don't get any fuel cells made. One could fix that by putting another circuit condition on this warehouse and limiting this to 80,000 uranium, because we limit the input to 20,000. So that's probably a sensible idea, just because it is the full belts and braces approach, which is what we're going for now. I've learnt my lesson. So don't actually put any more uranium-238 in if there is already 80,000 in the chest. Whoops, the other way around. Only enable it if there's less than 80,000. Sorry, that was more correct. Which will also save on this uranium processing as well. So let's get one of these. I've clicked the wrong train again. You're basically done. So you should come this way now. You should come to us. No, you're going here because it's the closer one, even though it doesn't have enough uranium. That's annoying. We can fix that by just turning this off briefly. Trains repath when they go past a chain signal, so that's not just going to suddenly break, it's going to go, oh wait, no, that wasn't even that train. Where are you? There you are. No, you shouldn't have gone that way. You shouldn't have been able to go that way. I thought ghost processes of this stop the train. That's... You're telling me that actually has to be physically deleted. Well, why does it work with belts then? Why does ghost deleting a belt stop it from moving, but ghost deleting a train track doesn't stop the train from going that way? I'm confused. I should have just manually closed this. That's what I should have done. That would have made more sense. This won't be a good test now because this train has probably got a lot of uranium in it already. Yeah, it's mostly full, but I just want to see that this is working. I don't think you can sequester a space in a warehouse in the same way you can as a wagon. Alright, so this will start going, but this won't actually put any more uranium in because of the rule that we had. So that is working, that is what I want. So this will continue to output 238 to the trains, but now it's going to prioritise making sure there's enough space for 235 so that we can continue to make fuel cells. So I just need to make that small change at the other station, the one that is actually currently doing all the work. And you can see here that this one is working fine. This one also has all the tritium from repurposing the fuel cells, which we need to find something to do with. I think I'm going to try and use that to make DT fuel cells. Because I think once you've made a whole bunch of empty ones, I don't think the Spidertrons consume that. I think you get this back. I might be wrong. But this only needs empty fuel cells and heavy water, and you can get heavy water from water, so we can just make that nearby. So we can also just make some DT fuel cells with the tritium if we have to. Okay, good. That only took me 24 minutes, and I'm kind of annoyed because I thought that this would take me longer. There's more you can do here as well. You can take the... Come back, Spidertron. Oh, you weren't that far away. There's more you can do here. You can take the... You can take the arithmetic combinators here, and there's still some manual input here, right? With the 64 and 128,000, you still have to decide what those numbers want to be every time. For the most part, you can leave it. Most things stack to 200. So this will work for stations picking up ore, it'll work for stations picking up plates, it'll work for stations picking up basically anything, except for engines only stack to 50, and electric engine units only stack to 50, energy control units only stack to 100. So let's go and do some more of this somewhere where it will be relevant. Fluids obviously will be different because fluids much higher numbers. Plastic stacks to 200, so that's not a good place to go. Glass is 200, that's 200. 200. Rocket fuel, that's 200 in this mod, isn't it? No, it's only 100, okay. Yeah, alright, let's go and do rocket fuel then. Get in the Spidertron. We established Spidertron was faster than me. Tried to click and drag the map there. I don't know why I'm going somewhere else to do this actually. I need to do it. I will need to do it everywhere, on every station. Makes a funny noise, old Spidertron, doesn't he? I hope my microphone's in the right place. OBS says everything's good. Okay. So what you need to do, if I remember correctly, which I almost certainly don't, is use an arithmetic combinator. And you will have several blueprints of this, but the only thing that will change is the stack size. So you do the same thing. So this is getting a 63,000 rocket fuel input, which is more than one train, but not two trains, because these stack to 100. So what you need to do is divide the input. Oh, I'm winging this. Jesus, take the wheel. By the stack size and output that as a number, I, integer, I, which is outputting 638, which means you can fill 638. Why did I put that there? Which means you can fill 638 slots on a wagon. Yes, correct? Because you're dividing the input of the value by the stack size, 100. So there are currently 639 full slots here. And it's just gone up to 640 now because all the belts are full. So you can fill 640 slots. Each train is 40 slots. Each wagon is 40 slots. Each train is 8 wagons. 8 times 40, 320. So then you need to also then divide this by... So you need to divide it by more than 100, don't you? Because if each train is 40 slots, you can get away with dividing this by 4,000, which gives you 16 wagons. And then if you divide this again by another... Wait, I've confused myself. 16 wagons. Each train is 8 wagons, so you can divide this... You can times this again by another 2 for 8,000, because each train can hold 8,000, which is what I should have just done in the first place. The output signal is 8. That's not right. Each wagon is 4,000, but each train is 8 wagons. Yeah, so you need to actually times this by another 8, so it's 32,000, which gives you a final output signal I of 2. Now we can actually just make this L and hook that straight up, because that is the answer. That is basically the answer. You divide the input by 32,000 where the item stack size is 100. If the item stack size is 200, that means you would need to divide it by 64,000. You just took this up to here. Set train limit of L, 2. So this will take 2 trains. That's kind of simple. Arguably a lot simpler than doing this with the uranium. To the point where I can't remember what else you need to add to this. This isn't 100%, is it? There's something else I'm missing here with this. What am I missing? This is fine. This just works. So, like, I can just take this. I suppose the downside of this is you have to remember which one of these numbers correlates with the stack size. So really what you could be doing is you could have another arithmetic combinator here, which you put the stack size in. No, that's not what you would need. You would need a constant combinator. You put the constant combinator next to it, and you output S stack size of 50. So then you have a arithmetic combinator here, which does all that math for you. Stack size is actually 100, it's not 50. Which does all that math for you to start with. So if the stack size is 50, it is 100. This needs to get up to 3200, because each train can hold 3200. So you take the input, you times it by... Well, you just times it by the number of slots for an 8-wagon train, which is 40 times 8, yeah, 320. You times that by 320. You output that as the new S. So that's outputting 32,000. So then you have another combinator here, which takes the input of the item that you're counting, anything, and divides it by S. We need to use a green wire for that one. So the output of S here goes into this input here, and then that outputs L. 3? Something's gone wrong. Input signal 64,000. How is 64,000 divided by 32,000? 3. The stack size is 100. Times 100 by 320, the number of empty wagons. You get another output. Let's change the output just because I might be confusing myself here. S is the stack size. So T is a train full. Am I just doing my math the wrong way around? Do I just need to... Now I've got 1. No, it's not that way around, is it? You're... Wait, where did my input go? That's odd. Evaluates the conditions or performs the operation on all input signals. Is that what's going wrong? Yeah, I think that's what's going wrong, because I think I need another combinator here. This red wire, because I think it's doing it on the T and then... It's doing it on both of those. It's doing it on the 64,000 rocket fuel and the T, because I've picked each. So this needs to go here, and it just needs to take the input for each and just output. So times it by 1 just to keep it the same, and then output that as the item. So I for item, T for train load. So then you take the red wire, which has the input 64. There are 64,000 items. A train, T of train is 32,000. So then you divide the number of items by the number of trains that can be filled and output L, which is 2. That's the one. That's the one. And then you hook that up to the station. Train limit 2. There we go. That's it. That's the foolproof one. So then the only thing you ever have to change now is just the stack size of the item here, S. And then the rest will do it for you. So let's cut this and just squeeze this somewhere a bit nicer. It will always be able to fit exactly there. It's a shame I couldn't get it. That's fine. So then just red wire to there. Outputting L of 2, put this output of this one here. Good. So then we can take this, jump back in the Spidertron, go back over to the uranium. That's steel. No, it's not. Go back over to the uranium, get rid of these. You suck. That's not the best way to do it. My tea is cold. I sat down with a tea. It's been 36 minutes of recording. That is one cold cup of tea. Right, so then we bung you there. The stack size of uranium, oh, it's 200. So we just change this to 200. And in theory, the rest of the math should work. Enable train limit 0. Oh no, wait, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's why. No, unconnect, please. Disconnect. Disconnect! Why are you still connected? What is happening? What on earth is going on? Bug report, please. This needs to go here, that's why. Train limit 2, we did it, folks. Because this is fault, that is correct. I believe that's right. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a million comments about... There's never going to be a million comments, but I'm sure there's a lot of comments about how this could be done better, but... You know, this is me you're talking about here. I'm doing this on the fly. We're doing it live, Bill O'Reilly style. Who plays him out? To play us out? Who is it? Is it Sting? I think it's Sting. I don't remember. What does that mean, to play us out? Cool. So, I suppose we should have a blueprint of this. If we take the train station as well, then all the wiring and the settings will be right. But I don't want the train station name. But I don't want to spend a lot of money. I don't want the train station names, that's fine. Bung that in there. Bung this in the blueprint book that is a complete mess. Because it's full of stuff that is now completely obsolete and irrelevant, but I know where it is. There's a deconstruction planner there for some reason. Oh, this blueprint book, please. Please. Oh god, it's horrendous. Alright, so then if we got this... I don't know why I copied that, I literally just put it in my blueprint book and we walk down to the other one. We will still have to do things like wire everything up, but there is a feature or a bug that turned into a feature or something whereby if you copy a blueprint with wires and paste it anywhere else, you just get the wires. You never actually have to spend the wires. The wires just magically appear. Spooky action at a distance. Special relativity style. So we can put the other one here. I didn't overwrite the station name, but it has connected this up. It's kept the rule for set train limit. We just have to make sure that this last wire here goes into the red bits of this, and we're good. Outputting nothing. Oh, because the input signal is only 47,000. I thought it was bugged, but it's actually working. It's actually working, because there's not enough here for it. There's no... A train can't come and get a full load from here. Yeah, it worked. That's intended behaviour. God, I'm so good. Well, that was a complicated episode, especially for me and my brain. So let's call this a bit of a short one, shall we? This is ready to go. We'll just paste this down on any new builds, and again, as part of off-camera work, I will start setting up other things. The fluid one is the same, except no, it's not the same, is it? That's going to require a bit of extra mental math. I just said I was going to end the episode. So this is 200 because the stack size is 200. Nah, fluids is going to have to be different. For fluids, you're going to have to just do the same, except you don't need this bit. You just have an input, and they'll all be. It would need to be a different design of combinators, but they'll all be the same because every fluid wagon is the same size. So you just say one fluid train can pick up this much. So just divide that by how much fluid there is, and then that's the train limit. You don't have to worry about stack size. Yeah. I did consider barreling stuff for the banter. That might be funny. You can get a lot more in one train via barrels, but obviously it's very complicated to then unbarrel it, move the empty barrels around, so on and so forth. Yes, so that's the end. That's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I thought I was in my Spidertron. Come back, come back. Oh, I need to paste all of those extra ones down in case the fuel cells get full as well. I should be writing this down, really. It's fine, I'll remember. Famous last words. Yes, thank you so much for watching. There is a second series going on the channel. It's completely different. It is Elden Ring. You can see my face. It's highly, well, not highly, but you know, moderately edited. Because there's a lot more downtime in that game than there is in this game. There's a lot of just walking to and fro, dying to a boss over and over again, etc, etc. So that's a chill time as well. If you like this, you may like that, who knows. But if you're subscribed to the channel just because you like me as a person, one, what is wrong with you? I am the worst. And two, yeah, that content is there for you. So the Factorio will continue, what did I say? Wednesdays and Sundays for the foreseeable. And the Elden Ring is planned for Tuesdays and Fridays. So if you want to give that a look, that would be grand. Other than that, I suppose that's it. Thanks for watching. Do the old like, comment, subscribe. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.